Well, I'm out in my shop again today, and I'm tapping the end of my mosin barrel for my muzzle brake. It's one from CNC Warrior. It's a 15 by 1 millimeter. I got their extended, the longer die guide. Screws in there. Okay, there we go. And drops into the end of the muzzle, nice and tight, and lines everything up so the muzzle doesn't tap off angle or, you know, give you something funny like that. Now this, I cut the barrel down about 6 inches, so this diameter is a little too big for a normal 15 by 1 inch die. So I have it's an adjustable die, so I have the die open up as far as I can, and I took the end of the muzzle over to the belt sander and just kind of took a little bit off of it, not nearly as much as you would do if you were doing it on a lathe, but I didn't want to have it ground down so much that it got into the thread, so I played it safe there. I'm going to use a lot of cutting oil, and I'm going to turn it down real slow and try and keep those threads in good shape. And I'll probably have to tighten up the die after to get it down to a size that fits in the muzzle brake, but I want it to fit in the muzzle brake really tight, so I'm going to take that down nice and slow. My tripod is all messed up, so I'm going to try and see if I can get you guys set up so you can watch me do it. Okay, that looks pretty good. Give that a shot. Okay, so I sunk in this this die guide down far enough where the taper on it, so the taper on it won't interfere as I try and tap the threads on there. Let's look at this. I already started the threads a tiny bit just because I wanted to see if what I sanded there was going to be enough. You want to go a little bit and then come back and break the chip. Keep doing that. This has a little bit of cutting oil on it. So as soon as I feel it start to grab more than I like, I'm going to come back with some more cutting oil. I put the cutting oil on the die and on the work. Yes, it's a little tight. Get it on everything there. It's one of my grandfather's old oil cans. Not everything has to come in an aerosol. There we go, cutting some nice teeth now. You can hear it work. It's nice and smooth. If it binds up too much, you gotta back off, or else you'll chip and break the die. This die is not cheap. I had to special order it. So I'm not sure if CNC Warrior sells that on their website, but if they do, I would get it. I had to special order the die, and I had to special order the die stock or die wrench because it's a 1.5 inch, and all the ones I have are like a 1 inch hexagonal, you know, for automotive stuff. Seems to be doing really well. I'm totally out of the die guide. I'm going to take that on the side. That's just twisting in the vise a little bit. Oil on there. I have a one of those foam earplugs down in the barrel to keep any little chips from getting down in there. I'll push it out from the breech when I'm done. back off quite a bit now. Just clean up what's there. It feels a little snug. Okay, I've taken the threading down as far as I want to go, and I'll show you after, but you can see there's a pretty good lip, a shelf on there where the diameter changes down. So I went and loosened up the okay, so I ran out of memory on my phone, on my camera. So I believe what I was saying was that I adjusted the die stock down half a turn. And half a turn is a good amount. It changes it quite a bit. And I'm not sure if I showed you. So the way to do that is take the die out. I mean, you could take this adjusting screw right out and use the one in the die. I just think it gives a little bit more control. So right inside here there's a little adjusting screw. I turn half a turn and drop the die back in. Oops, where it belongs. Lining up that adjusting screw lets you get into the dimple really easy. So tighten that down. I'm not putting any pressure on these to make it any smaller. I just put them down so it doesn't wobble around, and back off of that. And I chase it down. Okay, so I'm back out in the shop, and my memory card filled up. Then I tried to show you guys again me threading the second cut on those, and my battery went dead. Now I'm back out in the shop, and the weather has taken a turn for the worse. It is pouring out, and I'm going to try and finish this up so you can see what I'm up to. Hopefully the lighting's good enough. Let's go. Let me zoom in on that a little bit. Okay. So I took the die. I took it out. On the side of this little slot right here, there is a screw that tensions the die out. I took a half a turn out of it, so I tightened it up just very slightly. I already went through and did this because I was waiting for the camera to charge, but basically I just ran it back down, and it took off, a good amount of chip. Got it all the way down, and I actually added a little bit more threads to it because when I test fitted the brake on there, I didn't feel like it was grabbing enough thread. So I took that down maybe another 1/4 of an inch and cleaned it up nicely, had plenty of oil on there. And then after I was done with that, there we go, I took a little bit of brake clean, regular automotive brake clean, and cleared off the chip. And be careful when you get chip in your rags. Don't clean off the barrel. You're going to scrape off the finish. And I'm going to be refinishing this, but I want to keep it as good as I can, keep it from rusting until I get around to that. So I got that. Then I'm just going to put just a dab of oil on here. This is not the permanent fit for this muzzle brake. I just want to keep everything well lubed while I take it on and off a bunch of times. I watched some of the video from earlier and it was kind of shaky, so I'm going to try and see if I can stabilize that a little bit. I apologize because my tripod is missing. I'm sorry, it's broken, and I chucked it. So there is a lock nut that goes on here. Okay, so this is the lock nut for the muzzle brake. It has a tapered edge on it and a nice flat square edge. I'm going to put it with the flat square edge facing up on the barrel threads. That is a nice tight fit. Call it just about perfect, but what the hell do I know? I'm just going to snug that down a little bit. I don't want to get into the taper, so I don't want to mess up this nut, so I'm just very lightly turning that. There's the muzzle brake. Trying to keep my hands out of the way, sorry. Okay, and the muzzle brake has two gas holes at the top, and I'm going to line that up with the top of the receiver. So I got to come off a half a thread. And that's not exact right now. What I will do is, when I level everything in the vise, I'm going to put a drill bit in there, and or I'll come along this side right here, and I'll put my level in there to make sure everything is straight up and down, so that I don't get kind of a sideways flip to the muzzle when I fire it. So I'm going to use, I have a small file in there right now. I'm going to line that up with the receiver right there and just lock it down for now. Like I said, this is not the last time I'm putting this on. I will end up putting thread locker on it. I want to use a medium strength thread locker so that you can take it back off. It's blue, the thread locker is blue, medium strength, and you can remove things and put them back on with that. If you use the red, it's going to be a lot more difficult. You may have to use heat to melt some of the thread locker, but that medium strength will keep things from rattling loose. So it's nice for gun work. I mean, you don't want to have red Loctite on scope mount screws that are really tiny slots in them. You're going to end up breaking bits or tearing up the screw and having to drill it out, and that's just a cluster. So let me give you a nice close look at this. Okay, here's the muzzle brake, AK-74 style muzzle brake. Okay, and there's a couple, I got a couple little scratches on there from the chip coming down. So, and down into the muzzle. Yeah, it's really dark in here, so I mean, the sun really went away. It's only 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm going to take this inside, and I'll take a couple of stills and let you see what's going on there. But I like it. It obviously adds a small amount of length to the barrel, which I don't think it really throws off the proportions all that much, but it does look different, and it's a good amount fatter than the end of the barrel. So I mean, it's a matter of preference whether you like it or not. So on to the next thing.